Chapter 26. The Dojo. Cassidy was still 15. Her birthday had been in April and summer had barely started, but the world already felt different. The Pistol Regional Medal hung on the corkboard in her room like a quiet promise. She didn't look at it every day. She didn't need to. The memory was enough. The timer beeping, the sight picture sharp, the recoil steady, the final score that put her name on top of the 15 to 17 age group. Darren had shaken her hand after the awards, grin wide. "Morrigan, you just made a lot of older kids mad. Welcome to the club." He'd also pulled her aside before she left the range that day. "You've got the pistol thing locked down," he said. "But if you want to round out the skill set, 3-gun is calling your name. Rifle, shotgun, pistol, dynamic stages, movement, transitions. I run a small group on post. You're welcome any time." She'd said yes without hesitating. 3-gun practices started in June, Saturday mornings at the Rod and Gun Club's long-range bays. Darren's group was small, 5 or 6 shooters, mostly active-duty guys from different units. No kids except her. No one treated her like a kid. They called her Cass or Morrigan or the regional champ. Never the girl, never Daniel's daughter, though they all knew. They treated her like a shooter who'd earned her spot. She showed up with her dad's old AR-15, loaned, cleaned, zeroed, a pump-action 12-gauge, and the 9mm she'd been drilling with. Darren supplied dummy rounds and extra mags the first day. The guys were from Daniel's orbit, some from the schoolhouse cadre, some from maintenance battalion, a couple from the 82nd who trained with him on cross-unit ranges. They were rough-edged but respectful. Smart-ass banter flew, but when it was time to shoot, it was all business. First practice, she ran a simple stage, rifle at 100 yards, transition to pistol at 25, finish with shotgun on steel plates. She finished middle of the pack, slow on transitions, but clean hits. No one laughed. They just offered tips. "Keep the rifle butt tight to your shoulder," one said. "You're letting it float on the move." "Pump shotgun faster," another added. "Rack it like you mean it." "Eyes on the next target before you finish the last shot," a third said. "You're hunting, not reacting." Cassidy listened. Wrote notes in her phone after, practiced the adjustments in the backyard with the Nerf gun and airsoft rifle. By late June, she was consistently in the top 3 on every stage. The guys started calling her Raven, half joking, because she was quiet, precise, and always seemed to show up where the action was. She didn't hate the nickname. She kind of liked it. In July, she started MMA, on post. There was a small dojo in one of the rec centers, run by a former ranger who'd stayed on after retirement. Mostly BJJ and Muay Thai basics, open to dependents. Daniel had mentioned it casually one night. "Lots of the guys train there," he said. "Keeps them sharp. You might like it." She did. First class. She was the only girl and the youngest by far. The instructor, Master Sergeant retired Reyes, looked her over, nodded once. "You know how to take a fall?" She shook her head. "You will?" The guys were from Daniel's unit and circle, some from the schoolhouse cadre, some from maintenance battalion, a couple from the 82nd. They knew who she was. They didn't baby her. They did, however, accept her. After the first few classes, they started offering tips without being asked. "Keep your chin tucked on the clinch," one said after she got guillotined. "Posture up when you're on bottom," another added. "Don't let them flatten you." "Elbows in on the punches," a third said. "You're telegraphing." She soaked it up. Drilled it at home in her room. Shadowboxing, footwork, sprawls. She bought a pair of cheap focus mitts with her own money and practiced combinations against the wall. By late August, she could roll with most of the guys without getting submitted in under a minute. She still tapped fast, but she tapped less often. Reyes pulled her aside after class one night. "You're not just tough," he said. "You're smart. You learn fast. And you don't quit. That's rare." Cassidy wiped sweat from her forehead. "Thanks." He grinned. "Tell your dad he raised a fighter." She smiled. Small, real. He knows. School started the 3rd week of August. Junior year. Cassidy walked the halls of Jack Britt High with the same quiet stride. Hoodie up, backpack slung, same calluses on her hands, same raven pin on her bag, a gift from one of the pistol team guys after regionals. The stir was still there, deeper now. It watched when she sparred. It listened when Daniel taught. It waited when she practiced alone in her room. She still didn't tell anyone, but she was starting to listen back. Chapter 27. The Slow Burn. Cassidy wasn't invisible anymore, not exactly, but she still moved like she wanted to be. The bully didn't start loud. His name was Tyler Vance, Jr., football team, second string linebacker. Loud enough in the halls to be noticed, not quite loud enough to get suspended. He had a type, anyone smaller, quieter, newer, or just different. Freshmen were his favourite, easy to spook, easy to make cry or run. He'd knock books out of their arms, accidentally, shoulder check them into lockers, call them fresh meat, loud enough for his friends to laugh. Cassidy watched it happen the first week. A skinny freshman boy, glasses too big backpack, dropped his books in the hall. Tyler stepped on one of the notebooks, ground it under his sneaker, laughed when the kid bent to pick it up. Cassidy was 10 feet away, didn't move, just watched. Tyler caught her staring. He grinned, slow, mean. "What are you looking at, soldier girl?" She didn't answer. He stepped closer, close enough she could smell his body spray. "You gonna shoot me?" he asked, voice low, "or just stare like a freak?" She held his gaze, didn't blink, didn't step back. Something in her eyes made him pause, just for a second. Then he laughed, turned away, shoved the freshman one more time for good measure. Cassidy picked up the notebook the kid had missed, handed it to him without a word. He mumbled thanks and hurried off. She walked to class. The stir inside her noticed Tyler. It didn't surge. It just paid attention, like it was taking notes. The next week, Tyler escalated, slowly. He started with small things, bumping her shoulder in the hallway, accidentally knocking her water bottle off the cafeteria table, calling her Rambo when she walked past his lunch table. His friends laughed every time. She never reacted, never spoke back, never looked scared. That seemed to bother him more than anything. One afternoon in early September, he cornered her after fifth period. Hallway mostly empty, lockers still open. He stepped in front of her, blocking the way to the parking lot. "You think you're tough, huh?" he said. "With your little gun club and your daddy's last name?" Cassidy stopped, looked up at him. She didn't speak. He leaned in, voice low. "You're just a weirdo who shoots paper targets. Doesn't make you special." She still didn't speak. The stir moved, slow, cold, like a snake uncoiling. Tyler reached out, grabbed the strap of her backpack, yanked it. She didn't resist, just let the bag slide off her shoulder. He laughed, dropped it on the floor. "Pick it up," he said. She looked at the bag, then at him. The stir whispered, "He's going to push you next. Right shoulder, then grab your arm." She felt it before he moved. Tyler shoved her, hard, right shoulder. She stepped sideways, just enough. He stumbled forward, off balance. He caught himself, turned, face red. "You think that's funny?" She picked up her bag, slung it back on. Still didn't speak. He stepped closer, grabbed her arm. The stir surged, cold, sharp, protective. She twisted her wrist, small, precise movement from MMA class. His grip slipped. He staggered back. He stared at her like he'd been slapped. The hallway wasn't empty anymore. A few kids had stopped, watching. Tyler looked around, saw the audience, forced a laugh. "Whatever, freak." He walked away, fast. Cassidy stood there a moment. The stir settled, satisfied, almost smug. She adjusted her backpack, walked to the parking lot. The Raven was waiting on the hood of the Jeep. She stopped, looked at it. It looked back. She felt the stir hum, quiet, approving. She got in the car, drove home, didn't tell Daniel or Eleanor. Not yet. But the stir was no longer just watching. It was learning how to protect her, and it liked the taste. Chapter 28. Leash. The next few weeks were a slow burn. Tyler didn't come at her directly again. Not in the halls, not in the parking lot, not where teachers or cameras could see. He went back to what he knew best, the easy targets. Freshmen mostly. The ones who still carried too many books. The ones who looked down when spoken to. The ones who flinched at loud voices. Cassidy saw it every day. A boy with braces getting his backpack yanked in the cafeteria line. A girl with headphones getting accidentally bumped into a locker so hard her phone cracked. A quiet kid in the library having his chair kicked out from under him while Tyler's friends laughed. She didn't intervene every time. She couldn't, but she watched. And the stir watched with her. It learned their patterns. Tyler's swagger when he had backup. The way he always picked the same hallway corner after third period. The way he checked for teachers before escalating. It filed it all away. Like it was waiting for the right moment. That moment came on a Thursday in mid-October. Cassidy was heading to her Jeep after last bell. The parking lot was half empty. She saw them before they saw her. Tyler and two of his friends had cornered two freshmen near the bike racks. Two boys, both small, both with the wide-eyed look of kids who hadn't learned to hide fear yet. One of the freshmen was holding a skateboard. Tyler snatched it, held it high. "Come on, little man, jump for it." The boy jumped. Tyler laughed, tossed it to one of his friends. The other freshman tried to grab it, got shoved back into the rack, hard. Cassidy stopped walking. The stir uncoiled, slow, cold, certain. It whispered, "He's going to swing the board." Not hard enough to break bone, hard enough to hurt, right at the kid's arm. She felt it before Tyler moved. He raised the skateboard. Cassidy walked forward. Not fast, not running, just deliberate. Tyler saw her coming, grinned. "Back for round 2, soldier girl?" She stopped 5 feet away. "Let them go," she said, voice calm, even. Tyler laughed. "Or what, you gonna stare me to death?" His friends laughed too. The stir sharpened everything. His grip on the board, the way his weight shifted to his back foot, the way his eyes flicked to his friends for approval. She saw the swing coming. He swung the board fast toward the freshman's arm. Cassidy stepped in, not to block with her body, not to grab the board. She stepped into his space, close, sudden, the way Reyes taught her in the dojo. Her left hand came up, palm open, pressed against his chest. Not a push, just contact. Enough to disrupt his balance. The board sailed past the freshman. Tyler stumbled forward. She didn't hit him, she didn't need to. He caught himself on the bike rack, turned, face red. "You think you're hot shit?" he snarled. She looked at him. The stir was loud now, cold, protective, almost hungry. She didn't speak, just stared. Tyler raised the board again. The stir surged. She felt it. His next move. Right hook. Sloppy. Angry. She stepped left. Smooth. Instinctive. The punch missed her face by inches. Tyler overbalanced, stumbled. His friends froze. The freshman stared. Cassidy didn't move to hit back. She just stood there. Tyler caught himself, looked around, saw the small crowd that had gathered, phones out. He forced a laugh, dropped the skateboard at the freshman's feet. "Keep it, loser." He walked away, fast, friends trailing behind. Cassidy picked up the skateboard, handed it to the boy. "You okay?" she asked. He nodded, shaky. "Yeah, thanks." She nodded once, walked to her Jeep. The Raven was waiting on the hood again. She stopped, looked at it. It looked back. She felt the stir hum, quiet, approving, almost proud. She got in the car. Drove home. That night, after dinner, she found Daniel in the garage. He was cleaning his rifle. Again. She leaned in the doorway. "Dad?" He looked up. "Yeah?" She stepped inside, closed the door behind her. "Tyler at school. He was messing with some freshmen today. I stopped him." Daniel set the rifle down, wiped his hands. "Stopped him how?" She told him, quiet, matter of fact. The board, the push, the punch, the way she moved before he did. Daniel listened. didn't interrupt. When she finished, he looked at her, long, searching. You didn't hit him? No. Good. She swallowed. I felt it again. The thing. It knew what he was going to do. It helped me move. Daniel exhaled slowly. He stood, walked over to her, put his hands on her shoulders. I have it too, he said. I call it my sixth sense. Saved my butt more times than I can count. Felt an ambush before it happened. Knew a guy was lying before he pulled a gun. Knew when the road was wrong before we rolled over the wire. Cassidy stared at him. It's not magic, he continued. It's instinct, training, survival. But it's also something else, something older. I don't know what. I just know it's real. And it's in you. She swallowed. Does it ever scare you? Every damn day, he said, when it gets too loud, when it wants to do things I don't want to do. That's when you have to stay in control, not let it drive. She looked down. I don't want to hurt anyone. Daniel squeezed her shoulders. Then don't, he said. Use it to protect. Use it to stay alive. Use it to help the people who can't help themselves. That's what I try to do. That's what you did today. She looked up at him. He smiled, small, tired, proud. We'll figure it out, he said. Together. She nodded. They stood there in the garage, father and daughter, the rifle on the workbench between them. The Raven landed on the garage roof, black wings folded, head cocked. They both saw it this time. Neither flinched. Daniel squeezed her shoulders once more. Go get some rest, he said. You've got school tomorrow? She nodded, walked inside. The stir inside her listened. Awake, learning, no longer alone. Chapter 29. The Call. The phone rang at 8:17 p.m. on Friday. Cassidy was in her room sitting cross-legged on the floor with the Nerf gun in her lap, running through trigger resets in slow motion. The house was quiet, Elena downstairs watching a show, Daniel still out at the schoolhouse finishing late grading for the next candidate cycle. She almost ignored the call, but the screen showed Darren Mazda. She answered on the third ring. Hey, Darren. Morrigan. His voice was tight, missing its usual sarcastic drawl. You home? You free tomorrow morning? Cassidy sat up straighter. Yeah. Why? A long exhale on the other end. Post 3-gun team just lost our female shooter. Family emergency. Real bad one. She's out. Meets tomorrow at 0800 against Fort Campbell. Our biggest rival. They've been talking shit all season and we're down a body. Cassidy felt her pulse kick up. Not nerves exactly. Something sharper. You want me to shoot? She asked. I want you to step in, he said. You're the only one on the youth team who's run full 3-gun stages without choking. You've got the pistol locked, rifles solid, shotguns getting there. We need you in the adult division tomorrow. Last-minute fill-in. No pressure, except the entire post is watching, and Campbell's bringing their A squad. She stared at the Nerf gun in her hand. The stir inside her leaned forward, alert, interested, almost hungry. I'm 15, she said quietly. I know. Club rules allow it for one-off fills if the advisor signs off. I already talked to the match director. They're good. Your dad's good with it. He said it's your call. Cassidy glanced toward the hallway. She could hear Daniel's boots on the stairs. He was home. She took a breath. I'm in. Darren let out a relieved laugh. That's my girl. Bring your rifle, shotgun, pistol, all mags, 200 rounds each caliber minimum. We'll zero at 0630. Meet me at the main range gate at 600. Wear what you normally shoot in. No team shirt needed, just be you. Got it. One more thing, he said, voice dropping. Campbell's bringing their best. They're fast. They're loud. Don't let it get in your head. Shoot your shoot. Let the targets answer. Cassidy's grip tightened on the Nerf gun. I won't. Good. See you at 600. Get some sleep, Morrigan. You're carrying the team tomorrow. The line clicked off. Cassidy sat there for a long moment. Daniel appeared in the doorway, still in his multicam instructor uniform, sleeves rolled up. Darren? He asked. She nodded. They lost their female shooter. Family emergency. He wants me to fill in tomorrow. 3-gun against Campbell. Daniel stepped inside, closed the door quietly behind him. You said yes. Yeah. He studied her face, long searching. You don't have to, he said. Last-minute fill-in is a lot of pressure. Big rival, loud crowd. You're 15. No one would blame you for passing. Cassidy looked up at him. I want to, she said. I want to see if I can do it. Not just the youth stuff. The real thing. Daniel exhaled slowly. Then he nodded once. Okay, I'll drive you at 0530. We'll zero your guns early. I'll be in the stands. She felt something settle in her chest. Nerves, excitement, the stir all mixed together. Thanks, Dad. He stepped closer, put a hand on her shoulder. Shoot like you practice, he said. Breathe, focus, let the rest go. She nodded. He squeezed her shoulder once, then turned to leave. At the door, he paused. Love you, kid. Love you too. He closed the door softly. Cassidy set the Nerf gun down, laid out her competition gear on the desk, rifle, shotgun, pistol, mags, ammo, ear pro, eye pro, belt, holster, shell caddy. She stood there a moment, looking at it all. The Raven landed on her windowsill outside, black wings folded, head cocked. She looked at it. It looked back. The stir inside her hummed, calm, focused, ready. Tomorrow it would get to play. And she was ready. Chapter 30. Rivalry. The range at Fort Bragg Rod and Gun Club was alive at 700. Parking lot full, bleachers packed with parents and unit guys, coffee and gun oil thick in the air. The Fort Campbell team had already arrived. Loud, confident, their shirts bright red with gold lettering. They were talking shit from the moment they stepped out of their vans. Cassidy arrived with Daniel at 6:20. He drove her in the Jeep, silent most of the way. No pep talk, no last-minute advice. Just one sentence when he parked. Shoot like you practice, nothing else. She nodded once. Darren met her at the sign-in table. He was in his usual black polo and cargo pants, clipboard in hand, coffee in the other. He looked her over. Jeans, closed-toe sneakers, hoodie zipped halfway, range bag slung over one shoulder. You look like you slept, he said. Barely. He grinned. Good. Nerves keep you sharp. 0 at 6:30. You're shooting in the adult division. Open category. No handicaps. No excuses. Campbell's bringing their best. Don't give them anything. She signed in, walked to the zeroing line. Daniel and Elena took seats in the bleachers. Not too close, not too far, just visible enough for her to see them when she needed to. Zeroing went smooth. Pistol at 25 yards, 3 groups of 5, all in the X-ring. Rifle at 100, 3 shot groups touching. Shotgun pattern check at 15 yards. Tight, even spread. Darren watched the whole time. Didn't speak, just nodded once when she finished. Solid, he said. Now forget the 0. It's match time. The match started at 800 sharp. 7 stages, 40 rounds, time limits, points down for misses, penalties for procedural errors. Stage 1, pistol only, 10 rounds at 15 yards, standing unsupported, reload at 5. Cassidy stepped up third, timer beeped. She raised the pistol, 2 hands, high grip, thumbs forward. Sight picture sharp, trigger press smooth, 10 rounds in the A zone, reload clean. Time, 7.8 seconds. Darren from the sidelines. That's it, Cass. Clean and fast. The Campbell shooters watched. One muttered, kids quick. Stage 2. Rifle to pistol transition. 8 rounds rifle at 50 yards, 6 rounds pistol at 15. She ran the rifle clean, 8 in the A zone. Transition smooth. Pistol 6 more in the black. Time, 14.1 seconds, top 5 overall. Stage 3, movement drill, run 10 yards, stop 6 rounds, pistol at 10 yards. She ran, stopped, stance, sight, trigger, 6 rounds, all in the A zone. Time, 6.9 seconds, clean run. The crowd started murmuring. Campbell's loudest guy, the one Darren had warned her about, crossed his arms and stared. Stage 4, weak hand only, 10 rounds pistol at 15 yards. Hardest for most. She breathed, focused. 10 rounds. 9 in the A zone, 1 C zone. Still top tier. Darren yelled, "Weak hand's a bitch, but you owned it." Stage 5. Barricade transition. Strong to weak hand, 8 rounds. She switched hands mid-string. Smooth. 8 in the black. No penalties. Stage 6. Low ready to target. 6 rounds pistol at 10 yards. Fast draw. Controlled fire. All 6 in the A zone. Fastest time of the day so far. Stage 7. Final stage. 15 rounds. Multiple targets. Reloads. Movement. This was the beast. Rifle at 50. Transition to pistol at 25. Reload. Move to shotgun station. Engage steel at 15 to 25 yards. 20 seconds flat. She ran it perfect. Rifle clean. Transition smooth. Reload fast. Shotgun pumped without hesitation. Every plate down. No misses. No penalties. Time, 19.4 seconds. And when she lowered the shotgun, the range went quiet for a second. Then Darren yelled, "That's how you do it, Morrigan!" The bleachers erupted. Daniel stood. Clapped once. Slow, deliberate. Eleanor wiped her eyes. Campbell's loud guy stared at her target. Shook his head. Muttered something under his breath. Final scores posted at 11:30. Cassidy won the pistol segment outright. Fastest clean run across all divisions. Rifle placed 4th overall. Shotgun was 7th. She'd hesitated on one pump, lost half a second. Combined score. 2nd place individual adult open, but Bragg's team total edged out Campbell by 12 points. Bragging rights secured for another year. Darren found her after the awards. Medal around her neck. Sweat still drying on her forehead. He grinned wide. "You just carried us," he said. Pistol segment was untouchable, rifle top 5, shotgun clean despite the hesitation, and you're 15. The big wigs on post are already talking. Post commander was in the bleachers. SF schoolhouse cadre chief too. They noticed. Cassidy looked down at the medal, felt the weight of it. "Didn't think about them," she said. "Just shot." "That's why you won," Darren said. "Keep that. Don't shoot for the audience. Shoot for the target." She nodded. Daniel and Elena walked up. Daniel didn't say anything at first, just pulled her into a hug. Tight, proud, wordless. When he let go, he looked her in the eye. "You were steady," he said. "That's what wins." Eleanor hugged her next, kissed her forehead. "You were amazing," she whispered. They walked to the Jeep together. The Raven watched from the fence line. She saw it, didn't flinch, just smiled, small, private. The stir inside her smiled back. Awake, ready, satisfied, for now. Chapter 31. After the Medal. The rest of Saturday was quiet, deliberately so. Cassidy and Daniel spent most of the afternoon in the garage. The workbench was covered with her competition gear. The 9mm pistol, the AR-15, Daniel had loaned her for 3-gun, the pump-action 12-gauge, magazines, spent brass, cleaning patches, solvent, oil. She laid everything out the way he'd taught her, methodical, no rush. Daniel sat on a stool across from her. No words at first, just watched. She started with the pistol. Field stripped it slow. Ran a bore snake through the barrel, wiped down the slide rails, oiled the recoil spring guide, reassembled with the same careful clicks. Daniel finally spoke. "You shot clean today," he said. "Every stage. No flyers, no procedural. That's not luck." Cassidy kept her eyes on the gun. Darren said the same. "He's right." Daniel reached over, picked up a spent 9mm casing, rolled it between his fingers. "But you didn't celebrate. Didn't smile when they called your name. Why?" She paused, set the pistol down. "Didn't feel like winning," she said quietly. "Felt like surviving. Like if I missed one shot, something bad would happen." Daniel looked at her, long, searching. "That's the good part," he said. "And the bad part. You learn to treat every shot like it matters. Then you forget how to turn it off." She nodded. "Picked up the rifle next." They worked in silence after that. He showed her a better way to clean the bolt carrier group. She showed him how Darren had taught her to check headspace on the shotgun. They passed tools back and forth. No hurry, no pressure. When the gear was clean and oiled and locked away, Daniel stood. "Dinner's in an hour," he said. "Go shower. You smell like the range." She gave a small smile. "So do you." He snorted. "Fair." Dinner was simple. Roast chicken, mashed potatoes, green beans. Elena had set the table with the good plates. No reason, just because. They ate slowly, talked about small things, the weather turning cooler, a new FRG coffee meetup, how the new neighbours across the street had a baby on the way. No one mentioned the medal. No one needed to. After Daniel and Elena did dishes together, Cassidy went upstairs. Sunday morning she slept in, rare for her now. Woke at 9:30 to the smell of coffee and bacon. Ate breakfast with her parents on the porch. Quiet, normal, good. At 11 she drove herself to the dojo. The on-post rec centre gym was busy. Weekend crowd, families, a few guys from the 82nd doing PT. The dojo space was in the back, mats down, heavy bags hanging, a small ring with padded corners. Master Sergeant, retired Reyes, was already there taping his hands. He saw her walk in. "Morrigan," he said. "Heard you took gold at regionals. Word travels fast." Cassidy set her bag down. "Yeah, it was a good day." He grinned. "Heard you cleaned house. Pistol segment was untouchable." She shrugged. "Just shot my shot." A couple of the guys from Daniel's unit were there, some from the schoolhouse cadre, some from maintenance battalion. They knew her now. Not as Daniel's kid, as Cass. The girl who tapped them in sparring, the girl who outshot half the post. They noticed the medal pin on her bag. Staff Sergeant Lopez grinned wide. "Regional champ in the house," he called. "You gonna let us live today, or you taking scalps?" Cassidy smiled, small, confident. "Depends how hard you make me work." The room laughed. Easy, warm. Warm-up was standard. Shadowboxing, footwork drills, pad work. She moved smooth, breathed right, elbows in. Reyes called out combos. She hit them clean. Then sparring. She rolled with Lopez first. Light, technical. He tried a double leg takedown. She sprawled, countered with a guillotine attempt. He tapped fast, laughed when he popped up. "Too quick," he said. "You're getting scary." She rolled next with a corporal from maintenance. Bigger, stronger. He got top control early. She bridged, swept, ended up in mount. He tapped to an armbar. The room was buzzing now, guys clapping, Reyes watching with a small smile. Then one of the newer guys, Corporal Hayes, early 20s, cocky, stepped up. "Heard you're the champ," he said. "Let's see if you can hang with the big boys." Reyes raised an eyebrow. "Light sparring, Hayes. No ego." Hayes grinned. "Always light, Sarge." They circled. Cassidy felt good, loose, confident, still riding the high from yesterday's medal. She was moving well, reading him, waiting for the opening. Hayes feinted left. She bit, slipped inside for a clinch. He exploded upward, double underhooks, lifted her clean off the mat, drove her down hard. She hit the mat flat on her back. Air rushed out, head snapped back against the mat. Bell rung, sharp, ringing in her ears. Hayes passed to side control. She bridged once, weak. He flattened her hips, mounted. She tried to shrimp out, too slow. He locked in an arm triangle choke. She tapped, fast, frantic. The room went quiet. Hayes popped up immediately, offered a hand. "You okay, Cass? I didn't go too hard?" She took his hand, pulled herself up, head still ringing. Vision spotted for a second. "I'm good," she said, voice steady despite the dizziness. Reyes stepped in. "That's enough for today." The guys gathered around. No jokes this time. Lopez handed her water. "You good?" She nodded. "Yeah, just got caught." Hayes rubbed the back of his neck. "Sorry, got a little excited. You were moving so clean I forgot you're still new to this." Cassidy took a drink. Felt the ringing fade. Reyes looked at her. "Lesson learned?" She nodded. "Don't get cocky." He smiled, small, approving. "Exactly. You're good. Damn good. But good gets you tapped when you start believing your own press. Stay hungry. Stay humble. She nodded again. Got it. The guys offered quiet encouragement as she packed her bag. You'll get him next time, one said. Keep that chin tucked, another added. You left it open on that sprawl. She listened, thanked them. Reyes pulled her aside as she headed out. You're not just tough, he said. You're smart, you learn fast, and you don't quit. That's rare. Today was a good lesson. Use it. Cassidy wiped sweat from her forehead. I will. He grinned. Tell your dad he raised a fighter, and tell him Reyes says he still owes me a beer. She smiled, small, humbled. I will. She drove home in the late afternoon light. The Raven was on the fence post when she pulled in. She saw it, didn't flinch, just stared back. The stir inside her stared too. Awake, humbled, ready to learn more. Chapter 32. The Last Straw. Friday afternoon, the last bell rang at 2:45. The halls emptied fast, kids spilling toward lockers, buses, the parking lot. Cassidy walked out the side door, backpack slung over one shoulder, hoodie up against the early fall wind. She was heading to the Jeep when she saw them. Tyler Vance was alone this time. No friends, no audience. Just him, leaning against the bike rack near the lot's edge, arms crossed, eyes locked on her like he'd been waiting. He'd been quiet all week after the hallway incident, avoiding her in the halls, talking big to his crew when she wasn't around. She'd heard the whispers, his buddies razzing him. Got owned by the quiet chick. She made you look like a bitch. He hadn't forgotten. Neither had she. Tyler pushed off the rack, stepped into her path. You think you're tough, huh? He said, voice low, angry. With your little gun club and your daddy's last name? Cassidy stopped, looked up at him. She didn't speak. He stepped closer. Close enough she could smell his body spray and the faint sweat of someone who'd been stewing all week. You embarrassed me, he said. In front of everyone, you think you can just walk around like you're untouchable. The stir inside her uncoiled, slow, cold, certain. It whispered, he's going to shove you, right shoulder, then grab your arm. He wants to make you flinch. She felt it before he moved. Tyler shoved her, hard, right shoulder. She stepped sideways just enough. He stumbled forward, off balance. He caught himself. Turned. Face red. You think that's funny? He snarled. He lunged, grabbed her arm. The stir surged, cold, sharp, protective. Time slowed. She saw everything. His grip tightening, his other hand cocking back for a slap or punch, the way his weight shifted to his right leg, the opening at his elbow. The stir wanted to end it. Hard. Twist the arm until something snapped. Drive a knee into his ribs. Drop him. Make him bleed. It pushed. Cassidy felt the rage flood her. Ice cold, exhilarating. She could do it. One move, 1 second. He'd be on the ground, not getting up. The stir roared. She roared back. She froze her arm. Clenched her fist, then unclenched it. She twisted her wrist. Small, precise MMA. Move. His grip slipped. He staggered back. She stepped forward. 1 step. Close enough he could feel her presence. She looked at him. The stir was loud now, hungry, almost disappointed. She leashed it. Hard. Tyler stared at her, saw something in her eyes, something cold, something that wasn't 15. He backed up a step, then another. The parking lot wasn't empty anymore. A few kids had stopped, phones out. A teacher rounded the corner. What's going on here? Tyler forced a laugh. Nothing, sir. Just talking. He walked away. Fast. Cassidy stood there a moment. The stir settled, satisfied but restless. She adjusted her backpack, walked to the principal's office. The teacher followed. Inside the office, it was quick. Witnesses, the freshmen, a couple kids in the lot, said Tyler started it. Cassidy didn't deny anything. She told the truth, calm even. The principal sighed. This is your second incident with Tyler, Cassidy. Even if he started it, we have a zero-tolerance policy for physical altercations. 1 day in school suspension, Monday. You'll sit in ISS. No range, no dojo. She nodded, didn't argue. Tyler got 3 days out of school suspension. Elena arrived at 3:30. She looked tired, had left work early. In the car, silence for the first 5 minutes. Then Elena spoke. "Why didn't you walk away?" she asked, quiet, not angry. Cassidy looked out the window. "He was hurting them. I couldn't!" Elena's hands tightened on the wheel. "And why didn't Dad come? I called him first." Cassidy looked at her. "He's working, and—" "You wouldn't understand." Eleanor's face flinched, just for a second. "Try me," she said. Cassidy shook her head. "Not yet, I'll wait for Dad." Eleanor didn't push, but the silence in the car was heavier than before. They drove home. Cassidy went to her room, closed the door. The raven was on the windowsill. She looked at it. It looked back. She sat on the bed, pulled her knees up, whispered to the raven, "What are you?" It cawed once, low, soft. Then it flew off. The stir answered with a feeling, calm, but powerful. Like it was saying, "You stopped me. Good. But next time." She closed her eyes. She wasn't scared. Not exactly. But she was starting to understand. The stir wasn't just watching anymore. It was waiting for her to decide how far to let it go. Chapter 33. The Talk. Daniel got home late. After 11 p.m., the Jeep's engine cut off in the driveway with a low cough, then silence. Cassidy heard the front door open and close softly. The familiar sound of boots kicked off in the entryway, the faint clink of his keys on the hook. She was still awake, sitting on her bed in sweats, legs crossed, the Nerf gun resting on her knee. She hadn't touched it since the hallway. The compass and knife sat on her nightstand like silent witnesses. The raven had been on the windowsill earlier. It was gone now, but the stir hadn't left. Footsteps in the hall, slow, deliberate. Her door creaked open a few inches. Daniel stood in the doorway, still in his multicam instructor uniform, sleeves rolled, face lined with the day's exhaustion. He didn't turn on the light. "You awake?" he asked quietly. Cassidy nodded. "Yeah." He stepped inside, closed the door behind him, leaned against it for a second like he needed the support. "Elena told me what happened," he said. "Parking lot, Tyler, the stir." She looked down at her hands. The knuckles on her right hand were still red from the twist she'd used to break his grip. "I stopped it," she said, "before I did something bad." Daniel exhaled through his nose. "I know. Principal called. 1 day ISS Monday. Tyler's out for 3. Witnesses backed you up. He started it." She nodded. "Meh." He pushed off the door, walked to the foot of her bed, sat on the edge. The mattress dipped. "We'll talk about it in the morning," he said. "Really talk. But I need you to hear this now." She looked up. He met her eyes, steady, serious, the way he looked when he was about to say something that mattered. "You did good today," he said. "You controlled it. That's harder than most people ever understand. Most people with a gift like that, they let it run them. You stopped it. You chose." Cassidy swallowed. It wanted to hurt him. Bad. "I know," Daniel said. "I've felt that pull. Felt it want to go further than I wanted. Felt it whisper that one more twist, one more strike, and the problem goes away forever." He paused, looked at the compass on her nightstand. "That's why I've pushed you toward the shooting, the MMA, the range, the dojo, the role-playing in Pineland, not just to make you tough, to teach you discipline, control. How to breathe when everything inside you wants to explode. How to pull the trigger or not pull it. How to pin someone without breaking them. How to walk away when you could end it." Cassidy stared at him. "You knew?" she asked. "I suspected," he said. "I've carried it since I was younger than you. Felt it first during my first real op. Saved my life more times than I can count. But it scared me too. Still does sometimes. I learned the hard way. If you don't control it, it controls you." She looked down at her hands again. "What if I can't always stop it?" Daniel leaned forward. "Then we figure it out. Together. but you already proved today you can. That's why I trust you with the knife, the compass, the range, the dojo. You're not just training your body, you're training your mind, your will. That's what keeps the stir in check. He reached over, touched the compass on her nightstand. Remember the ridge, he said. When I gave you this, I told you fear keeps you sharp. I meant it. The stir is part of that fear, part of that sharpness. Don't run from it. Don't let it run you. Learn it. Like you learned the pistol. Like you learned the mat. Cassidy nodded slowly. Daniel stood. Get some sleep, we'll talk more in the morning. And tomorrow, we're going back to that ridge, just you and me. Same spot, same conversation, but this time, we finish it. She looked up at him. Okay? He squeezed her shoulder once, firm, warm. Love you, kid. Love you too, Dad. He left the room, closed the door softly. Cassidy lay back on her bed, stared at the ceiling. The raven was on the windowsill again, black wings folded, head cocked. She looked at it. It looked back. The stir inside her was quiet now, not asleep, just listening. She closed her eyes. Tomorrow they'd go to the ridge. Tomorrow they'd talk. Tomorrow she'd ask the questions she'd been carrying since the first time she felt it. And maybe, just maybe, she'd start to understand what it really wanted. Chapter 34. The Ridge. They left at dawn. No breakfast, no small talk. Daniel drove the jeep west in silence, the same route they'd taken the first time, highway giving way to winding two-lane roads, then gravel, then dirt. Cassidy sat in the passenger seat, ruck in her lap, knife and compass clipped to her belt loop. She didn't ask where they were going. She already knew. They parked at the same trailhead, hiked the same path, steady pace, boots crunching on pine needles and loose stone. No pointing out deer tracks or bear scrapes this time. No lessons, just movement. 2 miles in, the trees opened onto the bald. The ridge stretched ahead, grass, rock, sky pressing down. The world dropped away in blue-green waves. They reached the same boulder, sat in the same spot, legs dangling over the drop. No railing, just air and rock. Daniel didn't speak right away, just stared at the horizon like he was memorizing it. Cassidy waited. She'd learned patience from him. Finally, he said, "Tell me everything." She did. The hallway with the freshman, Tyler grabbing her arm, the stir surging, cold rage, time slowing, every weak point glowing, the urge to break something the way she pushed back, stopped it, leashed it, let him walk away. She told him about the principal's office, the one-day ISS, Elena picking her up, the car ride, the silence, the "you wouldn't understand." She told him about the raven on the jeep hood, the way the stir had felt, satisfied, proud, hungry. When she finished, she looked at him. Daniel stared at the ridges below, for a long time. Then he spoke, voice low, rough, like he was pulling the words from deep. "I felt it first when I was 19, he said. First real op, night raid. Felt the ambush before it happened. Knew the guy in the doorway was lying before he pulled the trigger. Saved my squad. Saved me. But it wasn't just instinct, it was something else. Something that saw more than I did. Something that wanted to finish the job." He paused, rubbed his face with both hands. "It saved my life more times than I can count. Felt snipers. Knew IEDs were there. Knew when a room was wrong. But every time it helped, it asked for more. Wanted to go further. Wanted to end threats permanently. I learned to leash it. Learned to breathe through it. Learned to use it instead of letting it use me." Cassidy looked at him. "How?" "Discipline," he said. "Training. Control. The same things I've pushed you toward. Shooting teaches you to focus when your heart's racing. MMA teaches you to stay calm when someone's trying to hurt you. Role-playing in Pineland teaches you to stay in character when everything's chaos. All of it, every drill, every range day, every roll on the mat, is training your mind to stay in the driver's seat." He turned to her. "You did that yesterday," he said. "You felt it want to go too far. You stopped it. That's harder than anything I ever taught you. That's why I'm proud of you. Cassidy swallowed. What if I can't always stop it? Daniel looked out at the drop. Then we figure it out, he said. But you will. You already did. And you'll keep doing it. Because you're stronger than the stir. Stronger than me. He reached over, took her hand, placed the compass in her palm. This was my father's, he said. He gave it to me when I enlisted. Told me the same thing I'm telling you now. Fear keeps you sharp. The stir is part of that fear, part of that sharpness. Don't run from it. Don't let it run you. Learn it. Like you learned the pistol. Like you learned the mat. Like you learned to stop it yesterday. Cassidy closed her fingers around the compass. I will, she said. Daniel nodded once. They sat there until the sun climbed higher, warming the stone beneath them. No big promises, no grand speeches, just father and daughter on a ridge above the world. The raven circled once overhead. They both saw it. Neither spoke. It flew west. The stir inside Cassidy watched it go. Awake, learning, under control, for now.